Now, the Health Secretary said this week that the next phase of our coronavirus response will involve test, track and trace. We've been talking about it on the show already. Mass testing, effectively to find out who has the virus, and then what's known as contact tracing to make sure people they've come into contact with can isolate themselves as well. Now, we can speak to Professor Stefano Merigliano, who led one of the earliest coronavirus contact tracing operations in the town of Vaux in northern Italy. Thank you for being on the programme. Just explain what you did.
First of all, good morning to you. We had the possibility to test the population of an entire village near to the Padua University. It was the village of Vaux. And we have the possibility to check all the people inside the village, more or less 3,000 people, for many times. The first times at the beginning of the epidemic, when we had the first patient sick, and in that moment, all the people was checked by a test. And then we check after 15 days, during when all the people was closed inside the village and has no possibility to have a contact with many other people coming from the other villages or so on. So it's really a closed population, just like I want to say a social experiment. And in the second test, where all the people were for the second time tested, we had the possibility to study very, very fine the contact between the people. And each people was asked to say where he was, which was the people in contact, whom were the people he lived together, and so on. So we could design a complete map and to understand how the virus spread in the village, how was the role of non-symptomatic people. And we are looking now that there is some people that live with infected people that has no sick. And so we are starting for the third series of tests that we'll do in the next days. So we will have the third check every after 15 days, more or less.
Okay, and just did it work in Vaux, and do you think it could work in a country as big as the United Kingdom?
I think that there are two possibilities to have this check, or to check all the population with electronic media, or with what they suppose to do, I want to say, with GPS and so on, or to use the technique of the onion ring. When you have people sick, you have to identify the first ring, the second ring of the contacts, and you have to test these people. So you can close the contact, and you have exactly the identification of the sick people and the isolation of the people that can be or could be in contact with this man or this woman.
The United Kingdom has said that it plans to hire a team of 18,000 people to do this contact tracing. Do you think that's enough?
Yes, I think that it is enough. The most important thing is to test all the people, to test the people sick and to test the people that live in the neighbors or in the same flat, in the same house, and the people where he go every day. So it's not necessary to test or to check all the population, but it's important to check and to test the people where you are in contact daily.
Now, COVID-19, of course, is a very new virus. Scientists are really catching up to try and find out more about it. It's interesting to hear from you because really, because of what's happened in Vaux, it feels like you have a good picture of what the virus is like and how it acts. What can you tell us about it?
We have the picture of the virus, where it is, where it spread, And we observed that the most important area where to check is the close community. We saw that schools, resident for old people, and the close community is the place where we checked and we found and we traced more infected people.